postpartum journey is weird. Emotions are weird. I have been told I'm sensitive, but let's be honest, I'm not sensitive with everybody, and not everybody sees a sensitive side to me. I am the strong, quote-unquote, friend. I am the, I don't know, but I don't show a lot of emotions to everybody. So this morning, something happened that made me angry. I felt the anger, and I can't tell you when I've ever felt that happen before. I have been upset, I have been annoyed, I have been frustrated with people, with work situations. I have had feelings of being really nervous and anxious, or so mad that I wanted to cry. But this was not a mad I wanted to cry. This was an anger I have never felt before, and I literally was just God, I need this, gotta go. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to become an angry person. And I don't know if it was because of what happened, if it was because of postpartum hormones, if it's because of what's going on in my life right now, but I can't have this. So it's definitely, I have therapy tomorrow, thank God. But it's definitely going to be something I have to bring up with her, because that is one of the questions for the postpartum depression screening, and one of the questions when it comes to anxiety. But this isn't a check-in week. This is just a regular therapy session. We don't do screening every session, which, to be honest, that would be really annoying. But again, the screenings are for every 2 weeks. So I will do the screening again next week, I think. So I gotta make sure I talk to her about it, because that, when I tell you, I was I literally, I was anger from inside out. That's how I felt. I didn't express it. I was able to hold it in, which sometimes is not good either. So I thank God that I'm no longer angry. I thank God that it passed. I just, never felt that before. On another note, yeah, so when I say I'm not an emotional person, I mean, not everybody has seen me cry. Some of my close friends, some of my family members have never seen me cry. Some of them may have seen me tear up in worship if we are in choir together, or we went to church together. But they have never seen me just randomly cry, or be super expressive with my emotions with them. And I think some people are taking advantage of my postpartum hormones. No, I'm joking. But I say that because I have gotten text messages from different friends, childhood friends, little sister, newer friends in life that are extremely close to me. God puts people in your life at the right time. I will definitely say that. God also will send messages, people, as reminders of how loved and cared you are, or cared for you are. Because I got a message last week from a friend. We're really close, but it started with, if nobody else has told you, or if nobody else has said this to you recently. And there's very few things that people can say to me that when they say it, I cry. And it also depends on who it's from. So one thing has always been, I'm proud of you. And that usually coming from my mom, my godfather, the person I call my dad, certain people in my life that I have allowed access, or that automatically, my mom obviously growing up, that she had access, but as an adult, I have allowed her access. I don't have to continue to do that. That have seen me do things, and they say, I'm proud of you, and it breaks me. I may not show it to them, but it literally breaks me, even if it's through a text message. So I say that to say, reading the "if nobody's told you" that ... because I knew where it was going. And I think I was feeding the baby, and I felt just like now, like I felt my eyes like watering up, and I'm like, I'm not gonna cry. I love the message, and I just, I couldn't really respond to it. I just was like, yo, I'm postpartum, you about to make me cry. I got 2 messages today, and they were responses. Like, one was a response to something I said, and one was just loving on me. And the first one I responded, I'm like, I'm postpartum, and I send the crying emoji because I was starting to cry. And this was hours after I felt anger. Like, so it wasn't, even though I say postpartum is like the emotions are waves, it just literally was just like I went from feeling this to feeling whatever, like normal, whatever normal means, to then feeling truly like so emotional, like so overcome with emotions. And then the next message was longer, and it, like, I couldn't respond to it. My response was literally, again, I'm postpartum. And they're like, yeah, I know. And I was like, so I'm not gonna respond to this right now. I will respond to it when I can without crying. And then I said anyway, and changed the subject to what the original conversation was about. I've had messages of people being like, hey, I want to do this for you. And one thing about me is I have a hard time when asking for help and accepting help, or accepting certain gifts, especially from certain people. Like, if I know what you're going through, like, I'm gonna have a hard time accepting it. If you're genuinely like, yo, let me come over, let me help you, let me do this, I'm still gonna be like, I don't know. But it is just like, it's emotional. It really is. Like, the messages are not upsetting to me. They're just like, it's making me be like, where are all these emotions come from? Like, I, again, am not this person, but I also realize it's okay to be this person. Like, it's okay to cry. And I don't know if this is all because I am postpartum. I am 4 weeks out. Like, literally today is 4 weeks since I delivered the baby. If it's sleep deprivation, which still goes with postpartum, or if it's just built up emotions I need to release, or if it's like this has always been a part of me and this is who I'm now becoming. I don't know what it is, and I'm not gonna say I have a problem with it, because I don't. What I have a problem with is when I start crying during uncomfortable conversations, or because emotions are just like boiling over and I can't express myself or whatever, and I start crying. I have had that happen more often than ever. Like, it wasn't something that used to happen. I've had it happen definitely during the 3rd trimester, and a couple times since I've had the baby. But the tears of like appreciation, the tears of joy, the tears of like, God, I needed that message. So like, of gratitude and gratefulness, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to ever say that I don't want to be loved on. It is very, sometimes, but God knows exactly what I need, when I need it, and not just what and when, but who I will accept it from. Because one thing I can tell you is I don't accept it from everybody, and it doesn't hit me the same way from everybody. Taking a break from cleaning, but I'm also like in between cleaning because obviously we have a 4-week-old. But postpartum journey update. So The other day, I was at my mom's house with the twins and the baby. The twins wanted to ride their, well, Eden wanted to ride her bike and go for a walk with my mom. So we went there after I picked them up from school. And I did not go with them right away because I needed to feed the baby. So I was feeding the baby and then I walked down. And I'm like, oh my God. So it was fine. I didn't put him in the stroller. I was just holding him because it was too hot. It was like one of those really hot days. So I'm holding him. But when we were getting ready to leave, my mom was holding him. And I say to her, like, please don't drop my baby. Like, please be careful. And I meant it, like, from the bottom of my heart. I was, like, serious. Like, oh my God. Like, please be careful. Like, I had enough anxiety with me holding him because I didn't want to be blamed, like, if I accidentally tripped or anything and he fell. I mean, and I, like, fell and he was in my hand. So I say all that to say. So my mom's response to me was, oh my God, your anxiety is really bad. Mind you, I was living with her when I had my twins. We lived at my mom's house for like the first year and a half before we moved out. So she had a first-hand experience with my anxiety with the twins. My anxiety now, because as of this week, I was officially diagnosed, like with it continuing. So I'm checking myself in the mirror. That I still had anxiety post the twins, which kind of figured that out. But having the baby heightened it, plus everything else that's going on. So what was once mild, even though it seemed way more severe to me than mild, is now moderate anxiety. But again, I'm in therapy. So like my therapist is aware of it. The questionnaire this week showed that. Prior to that, what am I doing? Prior to that, it was just mild. But for my mom to say, like, oh my gosh, your anxiety is really bad, it wasn't, so surprising. The interesting thing is, so then that was like the beginning of the week, and then I was at her house Friday after I did, because I ended up having to have 2 sessions this week. I had one and then we had an emergency session. So after I did, because it was an emergency session, my therapist had me do the questionnaire again. Or I think that's why she had me do it. I don't know, because I'm not due for it. But I was telling my mom, I was like, oh, I have moderate anxiety now. She was like, oh, yeah, I'm not surprised by that. And I just laughed because it's like, it is what it is. Like, I'm getting the help I need.